I used to spend hours, like all day, just finishing this single damn task. And it took me all day and it still sucked at the end of the day. And I was frustrated. But then I finally found out or figured out something that surprisingly enough, I did not need more hours put into that task to get better results. I just needed better focus. Now, let me show you how to stop wasting your life and actually get shit done. So, first, I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room. Almost everyone thinks that more work is equivalent to better results, but it's a total freaking lie, especially since we have AI now. But let me tell you where this concept came from. It's back from industrial era, where we used to have this repetitive tasks, a lot of repetitive tasks like stacking boxes and stuff. Repetitive tasks are those tasks that require repetitive motions or repeating motions and yield the repeating or same results. Now, for this task, it's totally fine to use time spent equals to output kind of formula because it still works today. But in today's era where we have more cognitive work to do, the planning, the writing, solving problems, where you use your brain, the real brain work, we need to think in a different terms. And those does not work. Time spent does not equal to output because as a matter of fact, more time you spend on brain work, the worse it gets because your brain starts to get burned out, it gets tired, and at one point it just stops firing. But if we don't measure work through hours, then how do we measure how good or productive we have been? Now, this is where I use two methods. One is from Carl Newport's book, Deep Work, where he mentions this. He uses the time, but he uses it in a different perspective, where his formula would be quality of work equals to time spent multiplied by intensity of focus. Now, when you look at this, how our perspective changed from how long we work to how focused we are during that set period of time. Because 2 hours of deep focused work can beat 10 hours of hustle with half-heartedness and, you know, half distracted when you are half distracted. Now, I use a different method. I stumbled it upon, or I maybe discovered it. I don't know what's going on here, but I stumbled upon it. Where I take a big project, I give it to a AI like Grok, Gemini, or ChatGPT, and then it breaks it down into blocks, right? Small output blocks. And each block has this certain tasks to do, and I complete those tasks, and I set my goal as to complete those tasks per day. Now, what happens here is, for example, if you're in sales and you have to make 100 calls in maybe 5 days, what you do is set 25 calls each day or 20 calls each day for next 5 days, and every day you make progress. Every day you make progress. And then no excuses, same time, and it will make a kind of a habit and make it consistent for you, and it will be easier by day third, right? So this is more traceable, it's more trackable, and it's clean. And I mean, it makes it easier and efficient for me to like keep track and do everything. Now that we know how to measure our work, and it's not through time but through focus and output, now what do we need to focus on? That's the main important part, because it all boils down to focusing on the right thing and doing the right thing. So for that, we have this simple rule called the 80-20% rule. Now, what this rule simply states is the 80% of results you yield comes from 20% of your work. Now, you can figure out that 20%, the crucial 20%, and put 100% of your effort into that 20% and get 80% of results. Yeah, we need other 20% still, but that can be done slowly because we need to focus, and that's how we progress fast. For me, that would be like, for example, for me, it would personally be something like task that creates impact in my life. I choose that and give my focused and deep work time to that particular thing for that particular day. And that's how I create impact every day in my life, and I make 1% improvement. The Kaizen method, I make improvement every day 1%. Now, this makes you not just busy but more productive and efficient, and now you get more done by doing less. Now, if this video clicked with you, there's one more thing it ties to: your goals. And in this video, The Art of Setting Goals, I have shown you exactly how to set focused, clear goals and where you can move your life ahead without being burned out or without all the chaos. And if you're done being busy and you really want to move forward in your life, I'll see you there. Bye bye.